Hello and welcome to Just Learn Python. In this video series, we are learning Python by doing basic exercises. This is part 8 of this series. Let us continue with exercise 36. Write a program to get sum of diagonal elements of a given 2D array. 2D array is nothing but a list of lists, or you can also call it as a matrix. So here it is a given matrix, given 2D array which contains 3 sublists inside a list. So this becomes row, first row, second row and third row, and this is first column vertical, first column, second column, third column. So now we have to get sum of 1, 4 and 9. These make diagonal elements. So let us take a variable and assign with the given list, that is 2-dimensional array. So to access each element, what we have to do, we have to do a double indexing, that is row as well as column. So to access first element, this is the first row and first column, we have to use given 2D array 0, 0. To access second element in the first row, that becomes 0, 1 and 0, 2 for the third element. Index starts from 0, that's why we are using 0 at the start. Likewise, if you want to access the second row first element, it becomes 1, 0 and then 1, 1 and 1, 2. Fine. Now if you want to access third element of third row, first element 2, 0, 2, 1 and 2, 2. So to access diagonal elements, now it becomes 0, 0, 1, 1 and 2, 2. So that's what we are accessing here. We will print these values and check. We should get 149. So we get 149. So we can directly add them by accessing using indexes. Otherwise, what we can do, we can write a small function, utility function, that is sum of diagonal, pass the list, take a local variable, assign it to 0 and then loop through list for I in range length of A. Length of A is length of list. That will be 3 in this case because we have 3 rows. Then sum plus equal to A of I and I. I will be 0 in the first iteration, I will be 1 in the second iteration, I will be 2 in the third iteration. So first it will be A 0 of 0 and then A 1 of 1 and then A 2 of 2. So that will give us the elements of diagonal that we are adding it to sum one by one. After that we are returning the sum. So we will print that by calling that function. We are calling the function here sum of diagonal and passing the given array, and we will print the sum. Sum is the return value of the function. So we should get 14 as expected. There are some more examples of this type. So A underscore 2D, which is also a 3 by 3 matrix or 2-dimensional array. It has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3 sub lists inside it. And B underscore 2D, which has got 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. This is also 3 by 3. And C underscore 2D, which has got 2-dimensional 2, 0 and 0, 2. Here diagonal elements are 1, 5 and 9. That is 6 plus 9, that has to be 15. In this case 1 plus 1 and 1, that has to be 3. In this case 2 plus 2, it has to be 4. So let us run this. We are calling the function with respective lists. First A underscore 2D, B underscore 2D and C underscore 2D here. Fine. And then we are printing the return value. The results are 15, 3 and 4. Let us move on to the next exercise. Exercise 37. Write a program to get first and second best scores from the list. List may contain duplicates. There is a list given here. List contains some values and they have duplicates. What we should get is we have to get 2 maximum numbers. Fine. In this case 84, 84, 86, 85 and so on, 83, 84 and all are small. So it should be 86 and 85. We should get 86 and 85. So how we will approach this? We will sort the list in descending order, and then once it is sorted in descending order, the first value is the maximum, and then check the next number which is smaller than the first number, and we will return first and second. Fine. So for that we will write a small function, utility function, first and second, pass the given list, take a copy here, take a copy, don't modify the given list, take a copy, and then a dot sort. This is the list method. What we are passing? We are passing a keyword argument which says reverse equal to true. That means sort this given list in descending order, reverse order. Fine. So for our reference we are printing it here, that sorted list. We will see in a moment. Then first item, that is the max value, will be the first element because it is in reverse order. Then to get the second element, we have to check duplication. So for that, first what we will do, we will assign it to none, and then we will compare first number with each of the element. If first is equal to next element, that means there is a duplication. So we will move on and until we get this less than first number. Fine. So for element in a list, that is a list. So if element is not equal to first, then assign that value to element, otherwise continue. If element is not equal to first, assign that value to second, otherwise continue. Once we get second value, then we got our desired result, then return from there, first and second. Fine. We are calling this function here and assigning the return values. It returns two values, first and second, f and s. Pass the given list here and print the f and s. Fine. Let us run this code. So this is our sorted list. So here what happens, first is always 86. Then when we are comparing the second is 86, which is equal to first. Move on to the next one, 85. We got the second one and then return from there. Fine. We got 86 and 85. Fine. Moving on to the next one, exercise 38. Write a program to get longest contiguous sublist of ones from a given list. Contiguous means you have to have a continuous pattern of ones in a given list. Here there is a given list which contains some numbers 1 0, 1 1s and zeros, ones and zeros. So this makes one contiguous, 1 1, second one, third one, fourth one, and this is the longest one. Correct? It has got 4 elements, 4 ones, and we have to get that. Make a separate list out of it. So how do you approach this? So what we can do? We will convert each element of list into string and then split it by 0. After that, what will happen? We will get sublists of ones and then get the max of these sublists, convert it back to list. Fine. So for that, we'll define a function, get continuous sublist, pass the list, sublists. Here we are using a map built-in function which will take list and a function. List is our given list and str is a built-in function type constructor which will convert each element of list into str. Map will apply str function to each element. Fine. And then after converting into str, we are joining them together. Then we'll split it by 0. By splitting it by 0, we'll get sublists of ones. First, we'll have 1 1, 1 1, 1 1 like that. So we will see in a moment. We have printed here for our reference. So how it will look, we'll check in a moment. Then whatever we get sublists from that, we will get the max out of it. So max is again built-in function which has got the maximum length. That substring it will return. After getting the max string, then we will convert it back to list. Here we have taken a local list, empty list. For I in max string, we'll iterate through max string and then append it by converting it into integer, because previously we converted them to each element to string, so we had to convert it back to int because the given list is in int, so we again convert it back and append it to list. Once it is done, once the max string exhausted, means we iterate through completely, then we get our contiguous list and that list we are returning here. Notice it is outside for loop. Fine. Now this is a given list. We are calling the function here and passing the given list here, unit list, and printing the return value by using print function. Let us run this code. So this is what we get when we convert it into a string and split it by 0. These are strings. Here max returns whichever has got the maximum length. After that, this substring we are converting it back to list by converting each element of this string to integer. Moving on to the next one, exercise 39. Write a program to get below output from a given list: iPhone X, iPad, MacBook Pro, Apple Watch. There is a given list and then we have to print it in a sequence 1 2 3 4 like that. For this we will use enumerate built-in function. Enumerator built-in function takes two arguments. One is iterable, that is sequence, and then a start value from where it has to start. Enumerate returns two values, a pair of count and value. It actually returns a generator object. You will see what is generator object in intermediate Python series. And now just assume that it returns two values, count and value. So we will take a variable and assign it to given list. Then we will iterate through. Enumerate returns two values that has to be assigned to I and device. These are the two placeholders. This will hold the count and this will hold, I will hold the count, device will have the value. And we are passing the sequence here, that is Apple device, and we start with 1. And we are printing by using a string format method the count and value. Let us run this code. So we get our desired output. Suppose if you don't pass this 1, it will start with 0. Default value of start is 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3. You can give any value of from where you want to start. Suppose I want to start from 2. So 2, 3, 4, 5 like that it is. So now I'll revert it back. See why this example is, say in many cases you want to have a menu like structures. That time you can use enumerator to list down in a proper output. Fine. Now exercise 40. Write a program to get every third element from a given list. You have to get 30, 60 and 90. So these are in sequence. Then we have to get every third element from a given list. So again we will use enumerate function here. What we'll do, whatever we get count, we'll check whether it is divisible by 3. If it is divisible by 3, that means it is the third element, and we'll add that third element to a temporary list and then we'll return that list. So get third element is a function. Take a input list, take a local list, empty list. This is count and this is value, and we are using enumerator which returns a generator with count and value. We are passing input list and we start with 1. Fine. If index modulus 3 equal to 0, this means if index is divisible by 3, if it is divisible by 3, then append it to the list. First index will be 1, 2, 3. When it is 3, then 3 by 3 becomes 0. So that element it will add to every third element list. Then it will be 4, 5, 6. Again 6 is divisible by 3. Then this element will be added to list. Like that 90 will be added. And after once it is done, once the loop is completed, then we are returning every third. Given list is assigned here to a variable, and then function is called get third element. Given list is passed and the return value is assigned to thirds, again another local variable, and that we are printing it here. Fine. Let us run this code. So we get 30, 60 and 90 every third element. Fine. Now we can be more generic in approaching these kind of problems. So what we can do, instead of making it only for third element, we can make it a generic so that you can get any frequency. For example, if you want to get every second element or every fourth element or fifth element or any nth frequency, we can get. For that we can write it more generic. With a slight modification we can make it more generic. So here is an example. Get third element input list, pass the frequency. Fine. This is frequency you want, whether it is third element or fourth element or whatever it is, or nth element. So local list, instead of third, every third, I have taken every frequency. Any name you can take, assign it to empty list, and then index element, this is count and element which is written by enumerator. It starts with 1. So if index modulus frequency, instead of 3 we are using frequency here, whatever we have passed. If that is equal to 0, then that is this number count is divisible by frequency. Fine. If that is divisible, then add it to list and return list once generator exhausts. Fine. When we iterate through all the list, let us run this code. So suppose I want to get every fourth element. Fine. So we are calling this function given list and fourth element frequency that we are assigning to return value is assigned to sequence, and the sequence is printed here. So we get 40 and 80. Fine. So in this video we have seen 2D arrays, how to access element in 2D array, how to traverse through list, and then how to sort list in descending order, and then convert list to a string and back to a list. Then we used enumerator built-in function, and we got how to use count and value, and after that we have seen write generic functions, make code generic. Fine. I hope you liked this video. Give a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Many more interesting videos are coming on the way. Thank you for watching.